if you're dumb enough to buy Tuah coin, maybe you didn't need the value anyway.
What do you think about Ethereum?
Garbage, bullshit, trash.
I don't think that negatively, but you know, I would say that you know, Jack. This is Jack's living. He spends his life in Bitcoin and crypto. This is not my living, and so I don't know if I would call myself a Bitcoin maximalist exactly, but at this point in my life, it's like I'm going to pay attention to Bitcoin and that's it. I'm sure maybe someone else will create some good projects at some point in time. But then you look at the last 7 years, and how many scams have there been? There have been just like, it's just scam. So unless I had my life to do research into what this project is and who's backing it, like I'm just kind of going to.
Well, just look at the way the policies change on Ethereum, right? Yeah. If something's not set, like Bitcoin's set, when the people come out and say, well, how do we know there's only going to be 21 million? You go, well, because there's like 5 lines of code that tell you. Ethereum changes its monetary policy.
I'll give you a better answer. I think Bitcoin's the only money in cryptocurrencies. It's the only thing that's built to be money, which we've talked extensively about what that is, why you'd hold it. I think everything else are technologies. They're talking about we're going to distribute this, decentralize that. But I don't, what is that? It's not where I store my time, energy. People say, well, Ethereum has utility. I'll tell you, the most successful utility token in human history is the US dollar. It's got about 5 billion daily active users. Really useful. There's a lot of utility in it. Does anyone want to hold it for the long term? We've spent this whole podcast saying no. Yeah. So why would I hold these things? How much do I have to trust the people that created it? How do they make decisions? What's it useful for? How am I supposed to value it? Guys, I'm telling you, I've been in this space for 12 years. None of those questions have ever been answered. The value accrual has been by drawing a false comparison to Bitcoin and rent seeking off of this trend that Bitcoin and Satoshi created. So that's why my initial reaction is bullshit, because there's a little bit of anger there of like, you guys are riding the coattails of this technology with no clear value creation whatsoever. You're clearly not money. So and that goes for any of these coins outside Bitcoin. I've never found one. And the whole utility narrative, well, the dollar's useful. I don't want to hold that either. So I just don't get it.
You have to be able to extrapolate how this is going to benefit you in your real life. And if you can't tell people that, it's very tough for someone to say this thing should be immensely valuable. And I think that's what happens in a lot of the broader crypto ecosystem. The value that it seems to hold to a lot of people, and I'm not just talking Ethereum, I'm talking all the other ones, because I went down that rabbit hole too, right? It's almost like a rite of passage when you first find these things.
You gotta buy some shit coins.
You gotta go.
You gotta lose your money.
You gotta go screw up big time, right? And so I got in earlier, and you see all these people making all these money on all these dog coins and all. And you're like, wow, people are really valuing these, but they're not. They're speculating on these, right? And it's a way to prey on people that don't understand or that are desperate.
I don't know. I'm up $2,000 on Doge.
Well, there you go. See, we got at least one winner in the room. But eventually, over time, your focus narrows and you go, which one of these can I really define a value proposition in my own life? What problem is it solving for me?
So the rest of them are kind of like gambling. If you want to go gamble, fine. So if one of my friends, they come to me, one of them said $100,000 on, was it Doge last week or something?
What
are you doing? No.
Hey, look, you got to buy Tuah, man. I'm thinking about buying the dip.
She's on that thing.
She's going to jail.
It's coming back.
Well, so we haven't spoken about what's the opportunity size of Bitcoin. So there's about $900 trillion worth of stuff in the world that people own. And if we're talking about money in that what you want to save and persist and exchange later for the goods and services you need, about half of that is people use as money, but people are using housing as money, equities as money, right? Yeah. But you can safely estimate the opportunity for Bitcoin is about $450 trillion worth of opportunity size, because that's the amount of wealth in the world today that people are just trying to save. Like, people are always like, what's the use case for Bitcoin? I can't buy pizza. The use case is keeping your money. How about that? Did you ever need to do that? Is working hard, earning something, and being able to fucking keep it.
Yes.
Is that a use case? So that's how big it is. When people say, oh, this technology is going to distribute dental, how big is that use case?
Well, when they say something
$100 million opportunity set at best?
Well, when they say, what's the use case, you realize they don't understand what is money.
100%.
It's money. It's the best money that humans have ever created. And 8 billion people use money every single day.
But if Solana's like a really valuable technology, whatever, I actually don't even follow these shitcoins enough, but it's like Amazon's valuable technology. We'd all agree at the table? Okay, sure. What's the opportunity that, what's it, $2 trillion company, $1 trillion company, something like that, right? So Solana's ceiling is like, oh man, if they could be as successful as Amazon, which in your life, get the hell out of here. But let's just assume. But if Bitcoin is successful, it's 500 times of an opportunity bigger for the world. So I think these things are an utter and complete distraction. Sorry, rant over.
I'm just like, I don't even know how to find the Hawk Tuah coin, to be honest, because there's like 87.
That was
Nobody
that's
can
such
find
a
it 'cause it
scam.
disappeared,
And
yeah.
actually, one of my friends, John, shout out John Kim. He said,
Can you pull this up? Look at this. It's like when you go to search for
so
Hawk
gross.
Tuah, there's like a bunch of fake ones. It's like, which one is?
Well, he
even-
said that,
ultimate
he said in the last cycle, because there's all this bullshit that always comes up. And he said, the unfortunate thing is these high time preference behaviors is really smart kids coming out of college realize they can come create some type of shit Bitcoin blockchain project and then make $100 million overnight and cash out. And that's the easiest way to make a whole bunch of money. And so you have all these people doing all these bullshit coins. And so, if you watched for the last 7 years and you see just scam after scam after scam, it's like, I'm just going to stay away from all
Well,
of that.
you gotta, if you go onto YouTube, you can watch people doing it live. I saw a video the other day of some 12-year-old kid launching some coin on Solana, and he rug pulled it live.
No,
It
he
took like
didn't.
30 or
Are you
40
kidding me?
grand,
Yeah.
just like that.
Are we taking that 12-year-old to jail?
The positive spin on this though is just how beautiful free markets are.
Oh, it's great.
You can get on podcasts and I truly try and educate and really distill what is money. And I tell you guys, Ethereum's not something I'd want my kids to ever inherit. But if you're dumb enough to buy Hawk Tuah coin, maybe you didn't need
Only
the
down.
value anyway.
it's artificial selection, right?
Yeah, 100%.
It is. And I think in the corporate world now, we're seeing a big shift in this as well, because you've got a company like MicroStrategy.
Wait, hold on. Zoom back out there. That was Tim buying the dip. He told us he was going to do it. Right there.
There's Tim
That's
Tolman.
Tim. That's Tim.
Hey,
He's
look.
the only guy on earth up on Hawk Tuah coin.
You know what, man? It is sad that people are getting the rug pulled out from among
Yes.
these things. Like, but Hawk Tuah coin, like you really got to ask yourself what you're buying. You know what this reminds me of? You guys remember the Beanie Baby craze in the late 90s?
Yeah, of course.
Everybody was like, Beanie Babies are being discontinued. There's Beanie Babies at every store I go to. They're worthless, but people were buying tons of them. It's like, what are you buying?
Yeah.
You know, is there utility in it? And so the obvious thing with Bitcoin is that very simply, very early on, the use cases I saw were tremendous. It was easy to remit. It was easy to transfer money instantly. So when you're doing like an ACH transaction, a purchase with someone overseas, it's moderately complicated. Even inside the U.S., there's all these different clearinghouses. Bitcoin eliminated and streamlined everything, and that's just a base utility. Smart contracts are possible with Bitcoin, the same as with any other thing. So instantly, it was like, oh, okay, you can see how the code works. You know how it works. You can take the choice to educate yourself, and it has a general utility. There's a reason to buy it, and that's why I'm saying, go back in 2011, I was like, maybe I should buy some of this, because I'm not just going to go on the internet and be like, Reddit karma, maybe I should buy that. I never considered why I would want Reddit karma. Reading about Bitcoin, the plans for it, and I was like, maybe there's something here. My friend talked me out of it. I ended up picking up some 7 months later, and then sold it when I made like a couple $100 off it. Like, woo, I'm excited. Hawk Tuah coin, what is this?
Dude,
what are you going to do with it?
People inherently love to gamble. I mean, it's almost like to the point where it's a problem in America today, how
absolutely
much
is.
people love to gamble.
Well, why do you think there's a problem?
High time preference behavior.
Desperation.
You force everyone to be a speculator if they can't save.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, it's a lot. We got cultural problems. We've got boredom problems. We've got greed problems.
Yeah.
It's all part of a cultural sickness in general.
But it comes from that, like, instead of I'm just an engineer or I'm just a doctor, I'm an engineer and a speculator that has to earn an ability to make progress towards a home. And you become degeneracy where you're looking for a way to just stay afloat and just find a way to finance having a kid or finance a home or finance a vacation. And yeah, Hawk Tuah coin is, I'll tell you what, Hawk Tuah coin, no, in all seriousness, Hawk Tuah coin's got more upside than just saving in dollars.
There's at least a chance you're going to win.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not wrong.
look.
Dollars
Statement.
100%
Yeah.
It's
down.
rebounding.
This is Tim right here.
Dollars never come back like that.
Saving in dollars, you have a 0% chance winning saving in dollars.
I gotta
not
be-
zero in Hawk Tuah coin, right? That's where I think it comes from. Seriously.
I got to be honest though, at a 1/10 of a cent, I might consider buying some Hawk Tuah because it's funny.
Oh my gosh.
You know, like, hey, look, put like
Meme
a dollar
value.
in.
Yeah.
So I bought like 10 shares or whatever of DJT, And then when it went down, all of these leftists are like, haha, Tim lost all his money. I was like, bro, I spent like $100 on DJT because it's funny.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to own a piece of whatever that was because it made me laugh. I'll buy some Hawk Tuah because it's funny. You know?
We're going to see the price. We're not going to watch this price spike live because you're talking about
No,
it.
but I mean,
so many degenerates. So many degenerates.
I'm not going to tell anybody what to buy because that's always a mistake. People get mad at you.
Yes.
But look, right now, as of today, Hawk Tuah is up decently. Somebody just made some money.
I always, we know it's you. We saw you doing the trades over there. I always tell people, instead of say you need to go buy Bitcoin, I mean, I will say you need to go buy Bitcoin, but I'll say you also need to do your research first. Like,
take responsibility.
Take some responsibility, do some reading, and that's what this comes back to, is taking responsibility. Like, you know, most people, what is money and what is money in the bank? Most people don't realize, because we haven't had a ton of bank runs in America. We had a few last year. But, you know, the money in your bank account, if there is a bank run, it's not actually there. They lend it out at 20-1. Like, your money's not there. Whereas if you own Bitcoin and you hold it in cold storage, your money is your money. No one can touch it. It's not theirs. It's yours. But you have to take responsibility for that money. And a lot of people are like scared by that. They don't want the responsibility of actually holding their own money, which to me is really weird.
Well, if you don't do the homework, you are a speculator. Right?
Yes, 100%.
Like, if you're just buying it and your only intent is, well, if it's 100,000 today, hopefully it's 110,000 tomorrow. Yes. You don't really understand what you own.
Yes.
Right? You haven't made it a core part of understanding the way that the world financial markets work and evolving your view on that. Once you evolve your view on that, I always tell people Bitcoin's the most stable part of any investment that I have. I don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah.
Because I know how valuable it is. So why on earth would I be selling it? For what?
I was just trying to pull up one of my favorite quotes. I'm convinced that any attempt to restore harmony in the world can only rest on the renewal of personal responsibility.
Great quote.
So great.
And I think it's so true. If you,
I thought you were over there buying Hawk Tuah coin.
No,
You're watching Jackpot.
you know I would never.
That's such a great quote, though.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Culture War podcast. We're live every Friday, 10 a.m. to noon. So subscribe and come hang out.